All right, so kind of an out of left field development today. The Vikings cut Bashaud Breeland. Um, no one saw this coming. I mean, I don't think he was going to be back next year for sure, but um, they had put out the injury report just a couple hours earlier, and he was on it. He was listed questionable with a non-football uh, situation, and then a couple hours later they cut him. And guess he came out that he had gotten a big fight today, or maybe it was today, at some point with coaches and fighting with players and like he's just going nuts. But so he's gone. Um, might it honestly could be like an addition by subtraction because he's been awful. He's talked a lot of shit and he's not backed it up. He's dropped what three would be game ending picks. He turned that he had the game winning pick in his hands against Dallas, and he somehow turned that into like a 50-yard pass completion. He also botched one against Pittsburgh just last week, and I think Baltimore was the other one where he blew it, and that's in addition to all his other horrible plays and botched coverages and terrible play. I mean, he got a couple of picks in there, but he was a complete bust of all the guys they signed in the offseason. For that defense, he's by far been the worst of the signings. I think he's listed as one of the absolute worst cornerbacks in the NFL. So yeah, on one hand, you're like, well, you're cutting this guy 2 days before a game, and it's at a position group that you know, you're already short on. But on the other hand, like, what difference does it make? Like, Breeland fucking sucks. He wasn't going to get any better. He certainly had no future here. There was no situation where he was going to be brought back next year for any reason. Um, you know, yeah. So I guess Cam Dantzler's going to be full time starter then. Um, and I'm sure they'll bring somebody in, some veteran, just to have a body in there. But this is a big spot now. Dantzler's got to fucking perform. Um, and you could say, yeah, we're just playing the Bears, but we know what happens when we play the Bears, especially in that stadium. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, total bust of a free agent signing. That one didn't work out at all. At least some of the other guys we signed haven't worked out great, but at least they've been competent and had moments. Breeland just didn't do shit, and he's been a negative player the whole fucking season. And we'll miss him. We'll miss Johnson. We'll miss it all. But you know, like playing as one of the worst cornerbacks in the league, and then getting into fights at practice with your coaches and teammates. That's a real fine way to play yourself out of the league permanently. So see ya, Breland.